jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back
to the hottest chat in the MFN game. A-side official. No negotiation needed, period. You already know. The first in the building. Carlos on deck, man. Salute to you. You already know what it is, man. I see you. Mike is in the building on deck. Salute to you. Shout out to the Go ILTBA in the building. What's good with it, man? Salute. Appreciate you pulling up. Carlos said, I'm going to say this until it happens. No matter what, my man is going to be 3 times something I might never see again in my lifetime. Facts, man. That goes for the both of us, man. Shout out to the OG Mr. Golden. Salute to you. What's good? I knew to bring my pot out for the hot grease. Yeah, man, it's always good to cook during the daytime, especially, heading to the weekend. So, big shout out to everybody else is in the building, man. Yeah, no doubt, IO. Appreciate you pulling up, brother. I wanted to speak on some audio that has been circulating, right? Well, several audio clips. And, while everybody's out here trying to explain to whoever's listening, it's pretty much all I'm hearing is people saying what they want to happen, what they believe should happen, what they think is going to happen. That's how they want to, put the whole entire plan and basically speak it up into existence. As you already know, time is ticking, man, for this decision to be made with Team Fundora. But let me get you to the audio of Fight Hub TV when they was interviewing Samson, who was up there, giving you a taste of how he truly feels about doing business, in his position with certain fighters by the name of Terrence Crawford. He puts it up, he puts it out there already, since they're in a position to say that they're unified champion. They earned it. But he wants to prove to you all early that he wants to deter you all from, leaning in the direction of Crawford, but yet pay close attention and show likeness to who they want to fight, whether that fight is with Errol Spence or if that fight is with Tim Tszyu in a rematch. You know what I'm saying? Let's get to the audio right quick like.
This moment, now I need to maximize the most money for the fighter.
He said, right now, I need to maximize most money for the fighter. Okay. Samson, I need to hold you accountable. Okay. You may not give a damn about me holding you accountable. He just said he needs to maximize the most money for the fighter. So what that's telling me is that you're interested in a big payday, right? That's how you maximize monetary gain, right? You want to ensure that you optimize revenue for your fighter. So that's a payday, right? That's Samson. That is a payday. You're looking for a payday for your fighter because if your fighter gets paid, drum roll, Samson get paid. So that's common sense that you will want to optimize your fighter's purse, and that's called a payday. But the way you're going about it, I don't agree with.
I believe he deserves it.
Is that Errol Spence Jr.?
That's correct.
Over Crawford? Like, does Spence more money? Or?
No, Crawford will not sell out 90,000 people in Dallas. I can tell you that.
Okay, so let's get this straight. Who's Fundora? Who's Fundora signed with? So who is Spence signed with? So for him to automatically sit up here and agree, earlier I was talking about discrimination of prejudice. You know what I'm saying? And then I had a moment with myself in the mirror. I said, "Hey, Scotty, yeah, you do understand that you mentioned that this seemed like borderline racism, right?" I said, "Man, you're right. I did say that. Because he did sound that way. But Errol Spence and Crawford both black, right?" I said, yeah, you're right. But that don't mean shit. I'm just saying, like, he's quickly to say Crawford because I guess he feels locked in with the role players that Errol Spence is attached to over there at PBC. He feels like there's a rapport, of course. You know what I'm saying? If you get what I'm saying. With Crawford, his independency, which might have been celebrated and praised by many, to finally leave Top Rank and go out here independently, cross that threshold and go over there and attempt to do business for that Errol Spence fight the first time. Make some mistakes. He's been on record as saying the hedge funds was a poor route to take, because he found out he would have had to pay them first and a percentage on top of that. That goes all about learning how the process works, right? So if Crawford ever become a promoter himself, he will remember that moment where he left Top Rank and he took the knowledge that he believed he had and found out there was more to the freaking package. There was more left over that he had to learn to go in there and attempt to negotiate with somebody who's been at the game longer than him. But anyway, what I love about it is the fact that you have to look at it from a standpoint of he returned to the negotiation table to get paid. Samson, the way he speak about Crawford is more of a disdain, as if you want to ignore the fact that him and Spence was able to talk to Showtime to get optimal, maximize their revenue, right? Samson's not paying this any attention, y'all. He's not paying any attention that Crawford actually was the one who made the call early January 2023 to revisit the fight with Spence. And also you have to look at Spence himself made changes in his team. He hired Adrian Clark. Both of these guys was able to increase their purse value. Samson's going out here talking about, I really get irritated, with him just saying bullshit. But let me rewind it just a little bit so you can hear what he's talking about.
1,000 people in Dallas. I can tell you that.
Congrats.
Is Crawford the better fighter?
Oh, yes, but, like everybody waits, like Benavides wait. Why not Crawford? Let him wait one time or maybe twice, and then he go.
Even with Spence, losing the fight, Crawford beating, you still think the
Yeah,
value's better
but
on Spence?
in the end of the day, is maximize the profit for the fighter. And it'd be stupidity for me not to do that for him.
So safer for Spence.
And besides that, boxing is business, as Mayweather, as everyone.
So would you say, not saying Spence is easy, but maybe more money, maybe get some ready for the Crawford fight, maybe in preparation?
I believe that it is one of the point that, Spence is a really good fighter anyway, especially in 54. So I believe.
Okay, so you have to examine this, right? I have to be the one to tell you that doing this live stream once again, I'm going to utilize the 2 to 3 college credits that I have in psychology. And I'm going to provide you with a prognosis on Samson that I don't know. There was something in his life that he received some type of trauma. I don't know. But he said boxing is a business. Did you hear him say that? He said boxing is a business. And he also mentioned how to make Crawford wait like he made other people wait. I'm saying, wow, as long as Crawford's been in welterweight, now Samson want to come on deck and try to punish him for basically making a fighter wait who decided to submit paperwork administratively to strip a title from him. You're trying to select one out of one particular incident at the welterweight division, being he's undefeated still, and he's knocked out everybody at 147 pounds. You're mad and say he needs to wait just like he made Boots wait. This is insane to listen to this dude's talk. Real talk. This is insane, man. You know, there's some traumatic brain and some CTE going on here, bro.
That is one of the point that, Spence is a really good fighter anyway, especially in 54. So I believe that
He said Spence is a really good fighter, especially at 54. Are you talking about early in his career when he fought above the 147-pound limit? How do you know Spence is a really good fighter at 54? This is the guy who is just talking. He's garrulous between the lips. His tongue gets him in and out and back into trouble. This man is saying Spence is a good fighter at 54. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. If Spence hopped through the ropes and spoke post-fight when Fundora was there, do he get credit for a partial fight with Fundora if him and Fundora was gracing the square together? I'm just curious. Is this some type of like a magic show we wasn't invited to, but they just want to spring it on us and say, yeah, you didn't know? Yeah, it was a double hitter. We got Fundora Zoo, and then at the end we got Fundora Spence. Yeah, that goes on the box rec as a partial. Yeah, a partial. I'm like, how do you know this man is good at 54? The only other time he fought was early in his career above 47.
he will have a shot, but now we need to wait like it make to weigh others. That is the boxing world. It's not only one way, it's two ways.
So he said Crawford need to wait like he make others. I have a problem with the punishment factor. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you trying to reprimand as if the situation you're talking about deserved consequences? We don't even know what situation you're talking about besides Boots Ennis. And if Samson is trying to say that just because you're the unified champion, just because Crawford is unified champion at 47, and he didn't entertain a fighter who was in position to fight him, all he had to do was stay in place and the WBO sanctioned body, he would have been the one that was forcing the issue after Crawford beat Spence. We wouldn't even have these conversations. But they left and jumped over into the IBF for whatever reason, believing that Errol Spence was going to win. It didn't happen. So then Errol Spence himself, like I told you earlier, they planned and plotted and kept him in the contract knowing that he wasn't going to fight. Steven Espinosa has been on record saying they couldn't make the fight in 23 and they was going to make it in 24. That didn't happen. We on the new year. Nothing. We see Crawford get stripped, and then Spence depart. The whole contract fall apart. Just after Boots get the IBF title. So all of a sudden, as we know undisputed how important that was for that welterweight undisputed, what in the hell is Samson talking about? What other fight was going to trump? What other fight was going to trump undisputed? You're talking about coming off a Sean Porter fight, right? Waiting for Spence to beat Ugas, then negotiating, it fall apart, he fight Avanesian, and then he gets around to the fight at hand and beats Spence. And you're trying to say he's a no likable style, and also you want to say that he needs to wait like he make others wait. This man is absolutely on a whole nother level of freaking mentally dilapidated, man. This dude is talking out of his freaking back, side, front of his fucking face.
How
Man.
do you think Spence and Fundora match up? What do you think happens in that fight?
Now you want to enjoy. We're going to the Hall of Fame now, and after that, which is in June 8th. Yeah.
Samson, dos preguntas en español, por favor. ¿Es uno de los momentos más altos en tu carrera?
No.
So that was Samson Likovich, or you know what I'm saying, whatever you wants to call him, you know, Mr. Lipovich, whatever you choose to call him. But his words, when they split his lips and fall out for others to freaking, you know, hear, you know, it's very disturbing how this guy would say, well, someone asked about Spence Fundora, what are you thinking? You're telling me you heading to the Hall of Fame and all that. Cool. But also you have to understand that you said Spence was a good fighter. You also have to acknowledge that Crawford beat Spence. But you need to say more and highlight that Crawford is a great fighter. And he will sell very, very well with Fundora, because there's still a lot of fans out there that want to see Crawford lose. It's a lot out there that want to see Crawford lose, just like Mayweather. There's a lot of fans that paid to see him fight because they wanted to see can he pick up his first loss. Crawford's kind of at that juncture in his career where people want to see him lose. He's doing it so well. He's making it look easy. Now he has fans who's coming to support him. They're coming to support Crawford. You have fans that's coming to want to see him take his first L. You know what I'm saying? And also they have fans that's coming to see how his performance value would be going in there with a bigger opposition. You know what I'm saying? A more weighty opposition at 154 pounds. You're talking about a guy who was at 35. So, you know, they really want to see all these transitions from Crawford, especially after we witnessed how easily he defeated Errol Spence, man. Let me go to this next video. We're going to use the audio. And see, this right here is a little bit puzzling to me too. This, like I always tell people, when people show you attention, right? You know, in an indirect way, if you're not asking for the attention and they show you attention, whether it's good or bad, that demonstrates that you are somewhat of an important person in that environment. Okay, you might have more power than you think you have, because when you get people to gravitate to who you are and they say all these things, whether it's good or bad, they're taking time out of their lives to address something. And that's what we see going on with Crawford. His name is out there. People know him for now, you know, being the fighter that has did this, you know, had these fights throughout his career, finally stepping in there with Spence, making it look extremely easy. And now he's at a point where he potentially may fight for the vacant WBO title. And yes, I would want to see him go in there and fight with Fundora. Yeah, I would have definitely liked to see him become a lumberjack, a Omaha lumberjack. You know what I'm saying? The 2024 Paul Bunyan. I would love to see him chop Fundora down. I would like for him to go in there and you know, fight Tim Tszyu. I would have liked to see that fight, man. Seriously, I would have liked to see, you know, how he's gonna both fighters will collect data, and you know who will adapt the best, who will make the improvisations needed to get the victory. I would have loved to see that fight. And then of course you have that guy from DeSoto, Texas. Definitely I would like to see the rematch, but for nefarious reasons outside of the scope of my natural boxing, you know what I'm saying, esprit de corps. I wanted this fight to happen last year, and just like we thought, they was just gonna run it up and stall out and then abort mission, and that's where we at with it. But what I don't like is people still blaming Crawford for staying in a contract that he had no other way, he had no other option but to do it. The loser activates the rematch. Spence activated, and then he deactivated. So there you go. There you go. That's all that needs to be said. I want you all to hear some some audio from YSM Sports Media when he interviewed Bozy Ennis. Shout out to YSM. They've been all up. This is an area where they was all about supporting Spence for the fight. That gym over there was very critical of Crawford heading to the Spence fight. You know what I'm saying? They say he did what he's supposed to do with Avanesian. Now, in light of what we've heard with possibly him being separated from Diddy James, people are volunteering their help. Now get this straight now. You're going to hear some audio in here. There are some people over there that's willing to provide their services for Spence. Shout out to my guy, the News by Shaw News, Sauce Experience in the building. What's good with it, man? Appreciate you pulling up as always. Team Tucker official deck. He said they don't like Crawford. He exposed EJ. They've been hiding all his secrets for years. Crawford's beat the truth out of the snake. The biggest. Hey, man, the sauce is hot on deck. You know what I'm saying? The sauce is hot. I'm going to leave that comment up there, and I'm going to get to the audio right quick. This is YSM Sports interviewing Bozy Ennis, the father of Jerron Ennis, right? Okay, Jerron Ennis was the guy who submitted paperwork to administratively remove the IBF title while Crawford was locked in to a contract with Errol Spence Jr., knowing that the letter was a dead end because there's no way that Crawford would be able to oblige or meet the request that they sent out to go into negotiations with Jerron Ennis. You feel me? How do you respect that? Let's get to it.
Everybody's talking about him possibly parting ways with his trainer, Derek James. Yeah, right? Mm-hmm. Now, you got your son Jerron Ennis at 47, right. But Spence is moving to 154.
Right.
Is that something that you would be interested in?
What's that?
Trainer Earl Spence.
Oh, I'd love to train Earl Spence, man. You know what I mean? I already put the message out already. You know what I mean? Spence, come see me, man. You know you my man. You know what I mean? I got something for you, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he got something for you. Let's get it straight. I mean, Spence going over there to train with Bozy. Once again, you want to talk about environment. He is from around that area, Long Island, right? It's up the street, right? So, him basically volunteering his services to train Spence while they actively have a fighter that potentially Spence may fight in the future. I don't believe it'll be a good move. I don't think that would be a decision that I would say is beneficial to Spence, being that we don't have an idea when Jerron Ennis planning on moving up to 54. I do believe he may potentially move up to 54 while Errol Spence is still active as a professional fighter. You know what I'm saying?
We get this shit right and get them titles back. You know what I mean?
He said, get the shit right and get them titles back. Hold up, y'all. I got to get a rag. I actually scratched some skin off my forehead because I was pondering a little bit too much. He said, get this shit right and get them titles back. What titles are you talking about again? Because Spence ain't never getting those welterweight titles back. The only welterweight titles he's going to get back is the ones that he has in his crib. You know what I'm saying? He's going to get those back off the shelf, dust them off, look at them, take some pictures with them, go show them to the farm, the wildlife out there on the farm, and walk around with them and stuff like that, reminisce and put them back on the shelf. He ain't getting no titles out of welterweight. And you know what? He'll be lucky if he get a title the first shot when he steps up to 54. He'd be very, very lucky. So I'm quite confused as to what titles you talking about he'll get back.
What,
You know?
what do you feel like you'll add to Earl Spence's game?
Well. Earl Spence is a great fighter, man. All I would put in him mostly with that defense technique that I do. Working on defense and change the style up a little bit, more. You know what I mean? I wouldn't. Matter of fact, I wouldn't change nothing that he's doing now. I would add on. That's what I would.
Shout out to YSM for asking solid questions, man. You know what I'm saying? Bozy was a little bit, like he was driving a stick shift for the first time. It was a little bit of hesitation. Yeah, I'll teach him the defense, and it's no knock on Bozy, man. I'm just talking boxing, man. Don't take it personal, man. It ain't personal. But it seemed like you didn't know what to let off the clutch, or you had it in fifth gear already. It was a little irky jerky there, but he said he wouldn't change anything. He would add on. He would teach him the defense that he's known for, and he would add on to Spence. You wouldn't change a thing. And to me, Spence has to change up to what he has, because he has the fundamentals above that. You don't have to teach him about a jab. You don't have to teach him how to throw combinations, none of that. You just need to teach him how to provide his psychological mobility while in the ring, his boxing IQ. You know what I'm saying? If you provide him intellectual mobility while he in the ring, to know when to move, not to become idle and stationary all the time. Stop trying to run through your opponents just because they land a shot on you. You know what I'm saying? Use your boxing intellect to move. Provide yourself with mobility, to know when to move. Know how to emphasize that I have space around me, man. Don't just stay there right on line and be a linear target. That's all I'm saying, man. You got to know how to get in and get out. That doesn't mean straight forward, straight back. You got to use your lateral, man. You got to know how to utilize your space accordingly.
I would add on my stuff to what he already know. And I think he'd be a spectacular fighter.
Is that a mistake that trainers make where they try to change a fighter completely?
Yeah, that is a big mistake. I know you should add on to whatever you already have, and put your shit into it. You know what I mean? That you have.
Some people feel like after all the accidents, the eye, and then the Crawford fight, that he doesn't have anything left. What do you see?
I think he still have a lot left, man. You know what I mean? I thought something was wrong with him when he fought Crawford. I don't want to take nothing away from him.
Hold up. I'm not showing the video, actually, but, Bozy was wiping his face. He's just walking. Because, another good question about, Jamil asking about what people saying about the accident and stuff. And that's always going to be a top priority when it comes to the banter that you hear over on this YTC, the accident. There's no way to take that away. When it happened, right? And he put out no broken bones, I'm a savage. I told people right away, I said, listen, that's not true. He's pretty much not being genuine about that. He's just faking it. I've seen guys die on motorcycles with full protective gear on and a helmet. So for him to have none of that and get ejected out the vehicle, intoxicated, there's soft tissue damage. There's something that may have happened, brain, to his brain and stuff like that. His neurological headquarters. So there's something there. Bozy said he believes he still has, he still has, something left in the tank, and that may be true. He may have something left. You know what I'm saying? But very, very minimal, in my opinion, that he has left to compete on a high level. You got to think about it. Bozy ain't wrong. Bozy is not wrong about Errol having something left, because he got off the canvas every single time Crawford put him there. Spence got up and he fought. Got up and he fought. Got up and he fought. He still has something there now. Spence still has something there. he still have enough mechanics that's connecting to his faculties to send that ping out for him to know a little bit, know how to do this, while I respond to that, to get his coordination down and his rhythm and flow, all of that. But when he starts to get hit and that headquarters, that neurological headquarters start to spark, and you want to call the webmaster, excuse me, hello? I know it's after hours anyway, and you can come on here and fix the server. The server's down. The server is down. Once again, the server is down. You know, you can't call a webmaster over there to fix the problems that you're having with that network, that Spence Jr. network, when he starts getting punched. And that may, activate the residual effects that he has from that car accident. But I mean, it was a good question at the end of the day, but Bozy need to cut your nails, boy. Bozy take off his gloves and he'll goddamn scratch your ass up. His nails like half an inch.
Crawford looked spectacular when he fought him. But you can see that when Spence, they came out there. I don't care what nobody say, but if anybody know anything about boxing, they know anything about boxing. They know anybody know anything about nobody say, but when Spence, they came out there. I don't care. But you can see that when Spence, they came out there. You see that when Spence, they came out there. I don't care. You see that when Spence, they came out there. I don't care. You see that when Spence, they came out there. I don't care. You see that when Spence, they came out there. I don't care.
Now, Bozy, what are you talking about? It's 2024, dog. May, June, July. We have 3 months before the annual Chauveau takes place, y'all. We have 3 more months before the annual Chauveau takes place, where I go to the seafood wharf and order me all sorts of freaking seafood, and it's going to be a fry once again in celebration for the 1 year anniversary. And here we are, Bozy Ennis is telling us that wasn't Spence that was in there. Why did you do that, Bozy? Why are you still trying to convince the people that was Spence, man? Just accept the fact, man, that was Spence, mind, body, and soul, brother. Was that Spence that fought Danny Garcia? Was it Spence that fought Yordenis Ugas? Because the other day, I sure enough put the picture up there for y'all to see. I put that picture up there for y'all to see. and at that point in time, I do remember those voices who was up here cheering. Oh my God. They was absolutely frantically jumping around, cheering how he beat Ugas up and how now he is the A side and he has all 3 belts. He did all the heavy lifting and he beat Ugas up so much that his eye bled for 40 days and 40 nights. This is what you had to see, y'all. They was jumping up and down, bragging about it. Let me get to the chat right quick. Justin Cherry is in the building. What's good with it, Justin? How you feeling, man? Carlos say, in my opinion, Samson saying he wants high reward, low risk fights for this guy. That's crazy. Bud got all these dudes scared. He hasn't stepped foot in the ring at 54. Well, Samson believes that Spence is a good fight at 54. Now, it's hard for me to basically, come up with evidence that I've actually seen him lately at 154 because, he fought for a championship prior to Crawford. He won a championship and then he fought for undisputed, which that was at the limit. He weighed 147. So maybe Samson's talking about another Spence, the clone that Bozy is referring to. Maybe Samson is talking about that. Maybe he has intel that the clone has fought at 154 off the record just to get him prepared to step in here and face Crawford if they ever fight in the rematch. Since he's already been in there with Crawford the first time. That's what I'm looking at because he said he's already fought at 54. So maybe he's doing like Kell Brook did when he fought Errol Spence. He took 3 fights at 54 and came back down and fought Crawford. Maybe that's the guy. Because Bozy's saying No, no, that wasn't Spence. So maybe that was the clone. Like I said the clone was the one that came down there, and they say he was high off transmission fluid because they had to oil him up before they brought him in there, to make sure he was good. They had a little 16 or 17-year-old freaking computer tech in the audience, and he was downloading data as each round went, and then stuff started to spark a little bit because they didn't prepare for Crawford to be landing all those shots on the clone so easily. And they found out that the database was glitching. And Spence had to get off the canvas and continue to fight on. And then it was some combinations in there that the counter shots that they was like, we didn't prepare for this. And then the 16-year-old, he's not a boxing fan. He's just a computer tech. But this what they said was cheering about, y'all. They was cheering that Errol Spence did this to Ugas. But you want to talk about that wasn't the Spence that came in there, but it's the same Spence that fought Ugas, though, Bozy. I mean, this is the same guy who fought Ugas, man. He beat this dude up. Ugas and Terrence Crawford almost the same complexion. Terrence still has his hair. Ugas don't. I mean, Ugas from Cuba. And, was that confusion? I don't know, man, but they was bragging that Ugas' eye bled for 40 days and 40 nights, man. But that same Spence, supposedly, maybe that was a clone. Maybe they download the proper data and they went in there and they had success. For real. The only thing that kind of glitched out in that fight is when the clone went over there looking because he thought his teeth had been knocked out, and he went over there and Ugas hit him and he went into the ropes. He was looking like Rolando Romero at the time. But Bozy said that wasn't a Spence. Let me get back to this, y'all. Let me get back to it.
Nobody say, but if anybody know anything about boxing, they know I'm right. Something was wrong with Spence when he came out here. You could see his face, where his face was, his eyes were popping out his head. Not only that.
No, hold up, Bozy. Hold up. I gotta continue to pour this hot grease on you there, Bozy. You say his eyes was popping out his head, but all these pro Spence channels on the YTC was saying that Errol Spence looked sleepy. Eyes popping out your head and sleepy don't go together. When them endorphins are activated, them eyelids start to get a little droopy, Bozy. So y'all need to get y'all story straight, man. I'm sick and tired. I'm about to take action, man. I'm about to write a petition, man. It was his eyes popping out of his head, or was he looking sleepy? Because last time I checked, when you get drowsy, your eyes ain't popping out your head. When you're wide awake and you're dealing with acute insomnia, then your eyes might be bugging. Which one is it, Bozy? I just don't know where you at with eyes popping out of the head now. Your peoples was saying that he looked like he was on drugs. That's what your people was saying, Bozy. When you talking about somebody looking intoxicated, sleepy on some type of drug, that's what they were saying Spence looked like.
When he was fighting, his balance was off, his timing, everything was off. His reflex was off.
That's called Crawford was punching him, Bozy. Yeah, your balance is going to be off because you was on the front end of what is called a glove, okay? Internal to that glove was the hand that was attached to the wrist, that was attached to the elbow, that was attached to the shoulder, and the nerves in that was attached to the brain of the opponent that Spence was fighting at the time, Bozy. I mean, that's for those of you that know boxing, Bozy. You know what I'm saying? And also a little bit of, biology and all that other stuff that goes along with it. But there was a human being that was projecting punches toward Errol Spence, and they was connecting. That was called target, what's the word I'm looking for? Practice, okay? He was landing shots, Bozy, on his opposition. That's what he was doing. You know boxing, Bozy. You know you have to give credit to Crawford for landing accurate, punctual, effective shots on Spence that caused him to be off balance. You know what I'm saying? He forced him off balance.
So that goes to show you that wasn't the Spence that I know, that I've been seeing. You know what I mean? Even they talking about his last fight and all that. Shit, he looked way better. You know what I mean? The last few fights, even though he got caught by what's his name?
Ugas.
Ugas. You know what I mean? But other than that, shit, he looked spectacular, man.
Okay, so he said his other 3 fights. So his other 3 fights would be Ugas, Danny Garcia. What's that guy name? They call him. I know his daddy. His daddy is Kenny. You talking about Sean Porter? Was it Sean Porter? Who did he fight? So yeah, it had to be Sean Porter where he won that he squeaked out that split decision, win over Sean Porter. He got the knockdown with the left hook in the 11. Now he could have carried that over to some other fights, which he did. Maybe would have seen some of the highlight moments he had in the Porter fight play out in Danny Garcia and Urdinas Ugas. But this is another issue, Bozy, that you all are not trying to recognize, is that he was in there with Terrence Crawford. Okay, let's be honest, man. You said his last 3 fights that he didn't look the way he's supposed to. He wasn't fighting Crawford either. The fact that y'all just want to overlook that fact that the argument was that Errol Spence can beat everybody on Crawford's resume. That was the argument. That was the argument of countless debates over and over again, Bozy. But even you would not recognize that I understand, because I know boxing. That's what you said, Bozy. If anybody know anything about boxing, that you can say without a shadow of any compunction, that Bozy, that he was in there with the fighter, the caliber of Crawford, and no one he's ever faced in his career prepared him to be able to combat what he went through on July 29th. You know that, Bozy. You have to be real with yourself if you're trying to be real with us. You have to be real with yourself, big dog. Crawford is a real boss. The PBC guys are boys. Crawford was supposed to be dumb. Yeah, they were trying to treat him like he was a slave. You know what I'm saying? I haven't really got to that. I'm just trying to keep it, user friendly to the audience. If Crawford comes out and say, call Al, everything gets done. Well, he's not signed to Al right now. He was, but they act like he was never signed to him. Now they want him to lock himself in for a 3-fight contract. Like they're going to give him the fights. What if Crawford locks himself into a multi-fight deal with PBC and he don't get the fights he's supposed to get? He's saying any and everything to keep Fundora far away from Bud. Dude is making crazy statements, making himself look like a fool just to avoid Bud. Hey man, it's almost like Canelo avoiding David Benavidez right there, Ban. You look at how Canelo say he's not fighting any more Mexicans. I look on Jaime McGill's box rec, and that man had over 30 fights in Mexico. That looked like a Mexican to me. You know what I'm saying? That looked like a Mexican to me. What's good? Big Bumps and Boxing, the gold on deck. What's good? Blue on deck. What's good with it, bro? I see you. My sources told me that Al told Samson to make him wait. He has to say, call Al first to get the fight, like the rest of them boys. Yeah, I said it. The sauce is active. You know what I'm saying? Super duck talk from this man. Man, see, most of the hottest chat in the game, they know boxing, man. I don't see anybody in here being a casual boxing fan, but they try to talk to you like, that's what it is. That's the case, that you're a casual. No, it's no casuals over here, bro. Let's get back to Bozy and how he's giving us the game. You know what I'm saying? He's giving us the game now. Let me go back just a little bit.
But other than that, shit, he looks spectacular, man.
Ugas.
You know what I mean? But other than that, shit, he looks, even though he got caught by, what's his name?
Ugas.
Ugas, you know what I mean? But other than that, shit, he looks spectacular, man. You know what I mean?
Other than that, he looks spectacular, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Other than
I
that, he
mean,
looks spectacular.
I got something for you, man. You know what I mean? We get this shit right and get them titles back. You know what I mean? You know?
What do you feel like you'll add to Earl Spence's game?
Well, Earl Spence is a great fighter, man. All I would put in the helm mostly with that defense.
No, that wasn't an old Toyota with a stick in it. And you had a 13-year-old trying to learn how to drive it for the first time. I know y'all heard a lot of screeching when Jamil asked that good question. Yeah, he asked a very solid question, man. You know what I'm saying? And Bozy don't know what he attribute to Spencer's style. He don't know. You know, that was an impromptu question, and it seemed like it was the degree of difficulty gave Bozy some problems. You know, so he started driving that stick and trying to, you know, get it out of gear and everything for the first time. That mother jerking and stuff like that. Good question though. Shout out to YSM Sports Media, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, bro. Good interview. I'm gonna leave that alone, y'all. I'm gonna let that be. Real talk. I'm gonna let that be. Get back to this chat. Man, Bud Phantom has at least quadrupled since July 29th. I want to say so. You know what I'm saying? I want to say that his fan base has increased tremendously. But every time you hear these individuals out here talking about what Bud don't bring to the table, I think you are worried about the wrong thing. And, you know, to be honest, I don't think they're worried about him selling tickets. They're worried about him going in there versus the fighter that's in their best interest. He's going in there winning. That's all. So they want to put up smoke screens out there to the fans and say what? He's not who he say he is. He wants to sell. You gonna say that all the way till the man retire? Do Hammy McGee sales? I mean, how long y'all gonna use this bullshit ass flagging that you do? You know what I'm saying? In the Marine Corps, we used to say the bullshit flag all the time. How often are you gonna run the bullshit flag up the pole and keep on talking about somebody don't sell? You know what I'm saying? Truth be told, Bud is bigger than EJ now. They only want EJ to fight in Dallas to exploit the market, and he still owes Jerry. Jerry got to get his return for his favors he pulled. And shout out to Shaw News for dropping the sauce, man. Because, you know, if anybody's looking for sponsorships or freaking managerial freaking consultation, you might want to reach out and hit him in the DM so he can get you, you know, on the straight and narrow on where you're trying to go. You know, he knows what he's talking about. You know? So him saying, you know, Spence fighting in Dallas, then they trying to get Dallas fans in a point of recovery, man. They still haven't finished the recovery effort that hit Dallas that time. You know how them storms be rolling through? And they be causing all this damage, roof be coming off. Just imagine a whole roof coming off Dallas, Texas. A whole roof being snatched off DeSoto, Texas. And Jerry Jones freaking training facility. You know, that tornado rolled in. You know what I'm saying? And look, and them Dallas residents tried to call 911. You know, because they say Bud Crawford was responsible. They want him arrested ASAP. And then 911 said, no, we can't do that because it was a sanctioned fight. We saw it too. So you trying to tell me you saw the assault go down and you can't arrest him? No, man, we can't because it's a professional sport and that bout was sanctioned. We can't do anything about how it affected the whole state. Arnold Brown on deck. What's good, man? Bozy is trying to size him up. He's Philly hustler. Yeah, hey. Once again, man. Hey, I feel you on that, dog. Hey, he trying to size him up, man. He trying to get him in there and put him. Hey, it's up to you there, EJ. Do you want to go in there with Jerron, you know, boots? It's up to you, man. It's up to you, man. You don't have to do it. You don't have to do it, man. But I recommend it. You do it. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Greg. Hey, go up to the other level. Get the camera rolling. Get the camera rolling. But don't come out here to the ringside. Just stay far back. Zoom in. No, Jamil, go back there. Roll the camera, man. We're gonna get this footage right quick. 402 on deck. What's good, man? You know what I'm saying? Bozy don't think before he speaks. He said he gonna get the titles back, Blue. Hey, man, he said, yeah, we're gonna do what to do, get them titles back. What titles? This man ain't coming back to 47. What titles? 54? What titles you talking about, homeboy? Bozy want that check James didn't get. AMP on deck. Yes, he want that title, man. It's all about maximizing. That's what Samson said. So Samson also said that Crawford was looking for a payday, right? Right? He said Crawford was looking for a payday. But he also on record is saying maximizing. So Crawford's not supposed to maximize his worth as a fighter? They have no retirement pension, no health care when it's all said and done. And you're not supposed to maximize your worth as far as negotiation? Before, Bud didn't have enough belts. He has belts now. And still they try to say, oh, the reason why he has no likable stuff. I mean, get the F out of my face, man. Get out of here, bro. I don't want to hear that. Appreciate you, Blue. No, let me call you Hustle Man, man. I don't want nobody confuse you with that other color. Man, I'm going to call you Hustle Man, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't want no confusion, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know how people be dropping links and stuff, talking about, hey, he said blue, man. He said blue. Man, like that's the only color. He said this barbecue is fire. W says keep cooking, boss. I appreciate you, man. This is the Hot Grease Chronicles EP 317, year 2024, man. You know what I'm saying? WBO mandatory coming up. We just have to wait for the time to tick off the clock. Band said no trainer can help Spence against Bud. They can come up with a dream team of coaching and it won't make a difference. I don't know. Band been on that. He been on fire today, man. I'm telling the chat been coming in here with them torches lit today, for real. Y'all gonna end up getting me in trouble, man. You know what happened when a lot of people with torches stand around in one spot and stuff start to catch fire? You know what I'm saying? You know how people be calling 911 on anything, man. Oh, they was threatening to harm Spence. They had these torches. And we just felt like our lives was in danger over here. But you really should check on that guy called EJ. That's all we heard in this conversation. I think the victim is going to be EJ. But fans have to realize he don't have the look Tank, Spence, Ryan, Canelo, all above look handsome brothers. That's a part of why they sell. Okay, let's go through that, bro, since you're talking about looks, aesthetics, right? Okay, so you're trying to tell me since Floyd Mayweather, right, there's been fighters that's been registering the numbers that Floyd has, right? So we're going off looks, pretty boy. We're going off pretty boy looks, right? Floyd Mayweather, pretty boy. And so we get to Canelo. In order for you to prove your point, so I'm able to average out some type of evidence, right? I'm doing deductive reasoning at 720. I need evidence for the formula to come up with the results. So who else can I add in besides Floyd Mayweather and Canelo Alvarez? What other fighters with looks that has did the amount of money? Because last time I checked, Spence got his highest payday with the guy that you continue to call unattractive. Tank has nothing to do with looks, brother. That's weird. Tank is there because he's a highlight reel specialist, man. A very hard-hitting talent, aka El Chin Checker. That's what he is. People want to come to see him fight. He has the it factor, That's what Tank has. How many times have you seen Tank in pictures with high end gear on? We ain't talking about the purse he wore in the fur coat and all that. We're talking about modeling. We're talking about magazines. We're talking about magazines. Are you trying to say light skinned guys? 720? Are you talking about light skinned guys? It seems like you have this stigma against dark skinned brothers. Then let's talk about Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia is who he is. You know what I'm saying? He has the sponsorships from the high end designers. You know, he has that. But dude, I don't know what you're getting at with that, man. Were you talking about handsome and not handsome? There's not enough evidence to prove that point, because Crawford and Spence made their highest payday fighting one another. If Spence was so handsome and it was drawing in more revenue, why hasn't he been able to do it? You can't say because he was out and, you know, recovering from an injury from a car accident. I don't know, man. You all are spending too much time zoomed in on the wrong area. You know what I'm saying? Y'all looking at looks now. What about talent? What about talent, man? Seriously, what about talent? How can we find all the evidence for this to make sense? Crawford was busting upside his head. He was, man. You know what I'm saying? Shells on deck. What's good? Crawford was putting them paws on him, man. Bud gonna stop Canelo in the building. Salute to you, brother. I gotta hear that interview. Yeah, man. You know, you definitely need to hear that interview because it was just a media scrum, first of all. You know what I'm saying? And he has been in a conversation with people because this was after the fight. So therefore, when he went on the Boxing Voice, he's pretty much reciprocating the same information that he said after the fight. So he's been talking about this. He's been utilizing this type of language for a while. Crawford no sell. Crawford's no sell. We didn't hear anything about 90,000 with Crawford before this fight took place. So how are you gonna emphasize he won't sell 90,000? What is 90,000? You gotta look at it, Samson. You can put 90,000 allocated tickets and act like there's not gonna be comp tickets, bro. Why are you up here acting this way, man? We're concerned now. You're gonna put the ticket prices at $2 a piece? Like, how are you gonna? Let's go back to the time where, prior to the fight, Errol Spence did an interview at the Cowboys training facility. And in that interview, Errol Spence, I guess he was censored to the point where he could not say Terrence Crawford's name. Now that is what you call control. You know how they always talk about how Crawford don't have control of this, he don't have control of that. That's called control. Because this man did an entire interview and he was prohibited to mention Crawford's name. So I heard somebody, give a slave analogy, on the panel the other day. That is the type of civility, the type of behavior that people frown upon, because for one, you under Al Heyman, and for two, you under Jerry Jones. You did an interview leading up to your fight, a presser, and you couldn't even talk about the fight itself. What was the purpose of you being there if you couldn't take that fight? It's just like what Shadnew said. You probably owe Jerry Jones favors. He probably looked after you and got you out of that pickle that you was in. You probably owe him some services. And they said, hey, you're not going to boost up your fight. You're just going to bring attention over here to my facility, and you're going to talk about some things, but we're not going to talk about Bud Crawford. We're not going to do it. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like you're owned. You're owned. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. It seems like you're owned. Sir Foul Player Brooklyn, what's good? Their logic. Errol Spence is a superstar. But Bud whooping on Errol Spence has done nothing to elevate Crawford's stardom. This kind of talk restarted because a fat Errol Spence jumped in the ring. Man, superb. Well said, man. Well said. I totally agree with you. You know what I'm saying? Umpteenth percent. That they are saying that, yeah, you completed, you beat the man, supposedly, that they were saying that was the superstar. That was the superstar, Mr. Popularity, right? But it did nothing to boost Terrence Crawford's FICO score. And that is absolutely a lie. You know what I'm saying? That's a lie at the end of the day. Real talk, that's a lie, bro. I suspect these men's motives watching boxing, they ain't watching for the sweet signs. They think it's a modeling contest. And those of you that choose to support the channel, there go the Cash App and everything if you choose to support the channel. You know what I'm saying? I'm a non-monetized channel for the time being because I was hated on for posting a vid. But anyway, I'm not talking about old stuff. I'm going to try not to. Bud too black to be in the position he's in. What you mean? Bud too black to be in the position he's in. I think he's in a solid position right now because, as it says right there, the WBO mandatory is on the horizon. You know what I'm saying? Bud is just on the ridge line waiting. He waiting for the sun to set, and they're gonna say, "Hey, Mr. Crawford, yes, we have good news. Yeah, your belt has been vacated, and all we need is for you to come through and fill out some paperwork, and we're going to talk about your next fight. Sounds good? All right. We'll get in touch with you a little bit later. And by the way, congratulations. We're going to be sending you a care package a little bit later, and we have some of those premium crackers with cheese and some of the finest grapes and a bottle of all complimentary wine to only the VIP Platinum members. Stop it, man. Y'all stop talking about how attractive or unattractive Bud is. Man, I don't want to sit up here and say that sounds a bit strange, but it is, man. I don't look at dudes like, what do y'all keep talking about? He sells with attraction. Now we talking about attraction. A fighter has to be attractive. Forget the skills. In order for them to be promoted, they have to be attractive. Or more attractive to you? They got to be attractive to y'all. Y'all looking at the wrong thing. And see, I joke about this all the time, right? But I'm about to debunk that with one name. Anthony Joshua. These guys, they're just cherry cheeked when it comes to Anthony Joshua. They blush uncontrollably. And Anthony Joshua is not a global star. Yeah, he may have modeling gigs and stuff like that. And he may have that area of sponsorship over on his side across the pond. No doubt. I ain't mad at him. Aesthetically, there's a lot of guys on YouTube that have these posters, these full-blown posters in their freaking shower. And it gets them motivated in the morning. When they come in there and brush their teeth, they look at that poster. They may take a water bottle and spray some spray on there and look like it's make them sweat and stuff. But they really is infatuated with the male physique. It may be for goal purposes. They may be looking for goals that they want to. When they go to the gym, they may picture Anthony mentally. Okay, I want to see that right now. That's what I want. I need to do barbell bench press. That's what I need. I need to call up that skin cream place and get me a little bit of lightening cream. Yeah, that's what I need right there. I need to get that height extensioning surgery. I'm like 5'8" right now. I need that extension, so I'm gonna get like 6'5". You know, it's not gonna happen, bro. Shout out to my guy Jamal Neezy in the building, man. What's good with it, Neezy? Just last week, the Aerosexual was saying that Bud rematch wasn't happening because Arrow was in recovery. Now they're excited about the truth moving up in weight because he's fat. Hey, check this out, though. Sir Foul Play, right? How dare you call that man fat? I mean, did you not see what he weighed prior to stepping in there with Spence when he was at the I guess it was the Frank Martin fight? He had on that baby blue color too, and he had that pouch. I could have sworn it was a kangaroo hanging out that bitch, but you know, he was pretty healthy back then too. But I would say this: I thought he had learned his lesson. You know how difficult it was for him to cut weight for Crawford. And also the fact that I told people that if that fight was outside of Texas, it was going to be difficult for him to cut weight. And sure enough, it was. So for him to hop in the ring looking like he was a cruiserweight, he's going to have to make sure the next fight is attractive enough, and I believe it's going to be, for it to be in Texas so he can be at home. And it can kind of take the stress off him from dropping those pounds. You know what I'm saying? So don't call him fat just yet. Give him a little bit of time, man. It might have been the heat. It might have been, you know, he was in there eating some cheese tacos. You know what I'm saying? Some chili fries. You just give him a little bit of time, man. Clothes are deceptive, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know how they say the camera put weight on you? It might have been the camera, bro. But at least give him the chance to you know, start cutting weight if he's the one that's going to be in there next against whoever. I don't know who he's fighting. But they trying their best to sell and make it in Texas, man, because he owes Jerry Jones that favor, man. He owes him that favor. Aerosexual want us to believe that Crawford is in the same position as Bivol when he busts Canelo. I don't know, man. You know, when you hear these people criticize Crawford, you just got to look at it like they trying desperately to say this man haven't made any progress. He's still the same fighter before he stepped in there with Spence. He ain't made no progress. And that's just asinine to believe, right? The man obviously not only went in there and earned the victory, but he stopped him. Not only did he stop him, it's what he did leading up to the stoppage. It's what he did leading up to the stoppage. Not just what he did leading up to the stoppage, but it's the battle garb that he wore to the ring that had a fish net hanging off. Usually, you know, speaking to these guys who talk about attractiveness, I was to say fishnet. They said, It's a guy that had on fishnets? I didn't say a guy had on fishnet. I said there was a fishnet hanging off his battle garb because Spence proclaimed to be the big fish. Wherever that fish was, I don't know. He was talking about Moby Dick. He was mad because, you know, Crawford said he'll catch him. He'll catch Moby Dick. And, you know, Spence was arguing the point that how you going to catch Moby Dick on a hook? You know what I'm saying? And then he sent out a video of going to Vegas, and it was a shark, you know, that looked like he had a lot of scar. Man, come on now. Everybody know Moby Dick is not a shark. It's confusing to certain people, bro. Shout out to my guy Jamal Neezy in the building, man. Salute to you, man. While the Bud channel is getting demonetized, it's getting weird. Hey, somebody's paying attention. I don't know. But I sure enough got my joint took from posting a Bud video that everybody else had up. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It was just a wrestling video that 1,000 other people had. But anyway, I got to keep it cooking. Shout out to the XO Factory in the building. What's good with it, XO? It's been a minute, but I'm pretty sure you've been out there doing what you're doing, man. OGW says, what's good, big bro? What's good with you, man? Appreciate you on deck. Yeah, this is something that's gonna be very interesting. I'm very much helping the time tick away by continuing to remind people that this is gonna be a nice end of the year fight that's coming up. Whoever it is, peep this out. They're gonna try to criticize Crawford potentially facing Josh Kelly over in the UK, but it's gonna be epic. It's gonna be packed out because it's gonna be, like I said, people there wanting Crawford to lose. They hoping Crawford get robbed. They hoping anything, man. They hoping anything happens. Crawford is global right now. So what he did to Spence, yeah, in the homeland, they may try to minimize its effect, but what he did July 29th and the way he made it look, it affected the masses, man. It affected a lot of boxing fans. It affected regions. It affected the social media platforms. It affected the boxing community. You know what I'm saying? It affected a lot of people internal to that. The role players, the promoters, the managers, the trainers. You know what I'm saying? It affected a lot because they didn't believe. They refused to believe that Crawford was who he say he was. And they always said that he was smaller. And I always go back to this, right? When I heard these aerosexual channels up here talking about how big Errol Spence was compared to Crawford. And I'm saying they have to weigh in, people. They have to hit the scales. Why are you all celebrating how big Errol Spence looked because he's undisciplined? And then this dude is running up hills and everything. Come on, man. And you're going to use that against Crawford? You're going to say, oh, man, he was still doing this and that, and he was cutting weight. He was weight drained. You're blaming Crawford, who has his own fight camp and his own team, for training with and living a fighter's lifestyle with standards, vice a fighter that's choosing to live out of pocket. So instead of you reprimanding and putting that criticism in the direction of Errol Spence, what do? You blame Crawford for something. You try to hold him accountable for something he can't account for. That's point blank, period. That's where it gets, a lot of stupidity and ignorance. You know what I'm saying? And you see how malicious people would be. This man went in there and did what he was supposed to do. And they blame Crawford for Spence being supposedly weight drained now. Everybody became a doctor on that night. All them aerosexual was doctors. Oh, he weight drained. Bozy said he had bug eyes. Everybody else was saying he looked sleepy. Last time I checked, your eyes are open when you can't sleep. If you got insomnia, you've been up for a long period of time, you tired. I mean, you're really tired, but you ain't on that proper circadian rhythm, shit like that. The clock is off. You up. You battling insomnia. Your eyes are bugged. But if you drowsy the way they say Spence was, oh well. You know what I'm saying? But we got this tick, April 25th. I think it's going to be sooner than that. But you know how they like stalling. But behind the scenes, I truly believe that the teams already know, that this WBO title, they're not going to be able to meet the standards. Because just look at, you got one sanctioning body who just stripped Crawford when he was locked into a contract and they didn't care. Now the aerosexuals are pretty much trying to mandate and say, well, simply like this. Fundora is injured. And since he's injured, he's going to be able to keep both of the belts. And then when he comes back, he'll fight whoever he chooses to. And Crawford's not going to be able to do anything about it. Knowing that the only belt that Crawford doesn't have is the IBF title at the welterweight division. And then they love the fact that Fundora has the WBC. So it pretty much, they're rejecting the idea that it provides another option for Crawford to go the WBC route if he wanted to, because Fundora has that belt. One thing we know for sure that's not going to happen with Crawford, he's not going to petition Mauricio Suleiman for the franchise belt. There's no need. There's no need. I don't think he want that blemish on his record to petition for the franchise belt. I don't think he needs that in his life. But hey, y'all hang tight. The clock is ticking. You know what I'm saying? The hot grease is going to continue to cook. You know what I'm saying? The aerosexual is going to continue to become super crispy, overcooked. We're approaching the 1-year anniversary, y'all, of the T-Mobile massacre that went down July 29th. And it will be a hell of another fish fry. I'm going to tell you. The fish are already preparing. They trying to hide. There ain't no hiding. We're going to put that bait down there for you. We want the juiciest shrimp. You know what I'm saying? We want the juiciest shrimp, man. We're going to get the premium fish fresh and throw that in the hot grease. Oh, we're going to cook it up. You know what I'm saying? That anniversary is coming up, man. That anniversary is coming up, y'all. Shout out to the hottest chat in the MF and game, man. And shout out to the MACKMOBB. The Mac Mob is on deck. What's good with it, bro? What's good, OGW says the hardest working man in YTBC. Thanks for the compliment, but I'm not. You know what I'm saying? You know, I put the little work in when I can, then I have my hiatuses. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate you, man. You know what I'm saying? Fire Live, you know what I'm saying? Thorough breakdown. You know what I'm saying? Thorough breakdown, as always. You know what I'm saying? Y'all definitely go be sure to check out the sauce. You know what I'm saying? Y'all go check out my guy, the Sauce Experience. The News by Shaw News, Sauce Experience. Go check his channel out, man. Support him. Be sure to check out the Mac Mob. Support the brother. You know what I'm saying? Support him. Bruce Gas, Boxing Jazz, and more. Support him. Real talk. You know what I'm saying? And definitely shout out to IOTBA, Boxing Talk. Be sure to check him out, man. The panels be fire. And, you know, he's making some groundwork. He's doing some groundwork over there, you know what I'm saying, with the aerosexuals. This is not a process that we thought that was going to be short, quick, straight to the point. We knew we was going to have to extend, you know what I'm saying, the budget. We know we was going to have to go in front of Congress to continue the relief efforts for these aerosexuals. So we're vying, hey, we're putting in the work. We're petitioning. We're doing everything possible to have resources to eradicate these aerosexuals, okay? Until next time, man, y'all hold it down, man. Peace. I'm out.